Two men test a bulletproof vest, the only way they knew how. One wears it, the other fires. Safety looked a little different back then. Presenting TA row of confident contestants posed at the 1951 World's Most Beautiful Legs competition. The heels were high, and so were the stakes. High above the ground, 3,000 feet to be exact, Gladys Roy and Ivan Unger play a game of tennis on the wing of a flying plane. No harness, just balance and bravery. Photographer Jack Riley takes a break, playfully dangling from the steel skeleton of the 74-story Bank of Manhattan during its construction in 1929. This was a typical children's playground in 1908, tall, tough, and definitely not made with safety rails in mind. We've only just begun, and trust me, the next few are even stranger. A handful of whimsical floats make their way through Manhattan during the 1939 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, a celebration in the shadows of World War. Before automatic car washes, people had a different idea. Drive your car in circles through a shallow water track and let nature do the work. Meet Marcia Pinkenfield, the 1927 champion of the Most Beautiful Child in America. Around 1930, members of the New York chapter of the Fat Men's Club gathered for a formal photo, proud, unified, and enjoying life on their terms. In one of aviation's most daring stunts, pilot Charles Godefroy flew his biplane straight through the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. The crowd below gasped. History looked up. At an alligator farm in California, a baby sits calmly among a dozen baby gators. No fences, no fear, just a strange moment in time where this was considered adorable. A horse, midair, soaring over a table where soldiers eat lunch as if nothing unusual is happening. Just another day in cavalry training. After World War I, a solemn tribute. Officers gather to honor the thousands of horses lost in the war. The soldiers survived. Their companions didn't. Over 20,000 men stand in perfect formation to form the face of President Woodrow Wilson. No drones, no digital tricks, just people and patience. During the 1927 Tour de France, two cyclists pause for a cigarette break. Endurance, yes, but with a puff of style. In the 1950s, teens found a new challenge. How many friends could fit in a phone booth? It wasn't comfortable, but it sure was popular. Before jetways and boarding zones, some travelers took to the skies in blimps, boarding calmly, one step at a time, with no idea what modern flight would one day become. This image captures German Shepherd police dogs confronting a true test, staying completely motionless with a cat positioned directly in front of them. This cheerful individual is a lab technician tasked with watching couples kiss to assess the longevity of lipstick. These pictures get wilder as we go. Don't blink. This odd-looking contraption is Max Factor's beauty calibrator. It measured facial symmetry, supposedly to show where to apply more or less makeup. Beauty by geometry. If you're into rare photos like these, hit that subscribe button. They called it the Auto Thriller, a full-blown roller coaster for your car. It wasn't just a ride, it was a test of nerve, tires, and steel suspension. Before the friendly cartoon we know today, the Michelin Man looked a bit unsettling. Here he is with a full marching band of lookalikes, equal parts mascot and fever dream. That's Johnny Eck, born without legs, but full of talent. He became a sideshow star, an actor, and a symbol of how to turn difference into strength. A circus performer wrestles an alligator inside a glass tank, part danger, part spectacle, and entirely unbelievable by today's standards. Inventor H.L. Baudouin stands inside his deep-sea diving suit, bulky, pressurized, and built to explore a world few dared to enter. To attract customers, Danish designer Christian Troelstrup covered an entire building in coats, over 1,000 of them. If nothing else, it was hard to miss. During World War I, this church in France was shielded by towering walls of sandbags. Faith literally fortified. After King Tut's tomb was uncovered, Egyptian style swept across Europe. Even gas pumps were crowned with pharaohs. For a brief time, prisoners were transported like this, cuffed behind a police officer on the back of a motorcycle. Fast? Yes. Safe? Not exactly. This is Jacob Miller, a Civil War soldier who was shot directly between the eyes and survived. He lived another 17 years with the bullet still lodged in his head. The next set of pictures is where things really start to get weird. In 1959, goalie Jacques Plante made history, stepping onto the ice wearing the NHL's first goalie mask. The crowd gasped, the puck flew, and safety took a step forward. During World War II, British infants were issued gas masks that looked more like spacesuits. Oversized, awkward, but designed to save the smallest lives. Off the coast of Florida in 1933, A.L. Khan caught a manta ray weighing 5,000 pounds. Part sea creature, part legend, and all real. Built in the 1800s, Wyoming's Dale Creek Bridge was so unstable that trains had to slow to just 4 miles per hour to cross. It swayed, it creaked, and it held. This was a baby car seat in the 1950s and 60s. Light on safety, heavy on style. Straps? Padding? Not quite. And here it is in action, a demonstration that somehow made it look even less safe than before. This is Zach T. Wilcox, photographed in 1922, proudly wearing the longest beard in the world. It trailed behind him like a royal train. This early electric hairdryer looked more like lab equipment than beauty gear. But in its day, it was the cutting edge of glamour. In 1904, this was a New York City tour bus. Open air, high wheels, and just enough roof to keep the rain off your hat. This is the Brewster body armor suit, one of the earliest attempts to shield soldiers during World War I. It worked. Sort of. If you didn't need to move too fast. Stick with me for a bit longer, because honestly, the best is yet to come. President Lyndon B. Johnson behind the wheel of an amphicar, a car that could drive straight into a lake and keep going. He used to prank guests by pretending the brakes had failed just before hitting the water. This is Joe Gilpin in 1948, casually gliding across the water on his motorized surfboard. Part inventor, part surfer, all cool. Actress Jessie Matthew poses in a towering, feathered headdress, dramatic, elegant, and anything but understated. In 1930, Wilma Smith was crowned Queen of the Vineyards. They didn't give her a crown, they gave her grapes. Lots of grapes. Before retiring from baseball, Lou Gehrig auditioned to play Tarzan, spear in hand, muscles flexed, and ready for the jungle. These were called pissoirs, public urinals that line the streets of France. Functional? Yes. Private? Not so much. In 1896, Walter Arnold was caught speeding, going 8 miles per hour. He was fined and made history as the world's first speeder. This type of camouflage, referred to as dazzle camouflage, gained significant popularity during World War I. It made it hard to hit. A champagne inspector, masked and ready, leans in to check each bottle. Why the gear? Because champagne under pressure sometimes bites back. And finally, 2 peanut vendors in a suit, made of peanuts. Snacks, style, and salesmanship, all stitched into one unforgettable look. If you felt something today, curiosity, nostalgia, maybe even a tear, hit that subscribe button. We'll keep exploring the rarest corners of history together. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.